welcome back to Bring Back Girls. I'm so happy to have you all back with me today. We have our next guest, the legendary, iconic Miss Andrea Lipkus. I know you all have been waiting for this episode, and I'm so happy that I was able to get her on to talk. It's been so long since I have spoke to Andrea, and it was so wonderful catching up with her. For those of you who don't know, she's actually coaching the World Cup Twinkles this year, so I got to talk to her about that. We also did something a little bit different where we reacted to some clips of the Twinkles Chasing Perfection video. Andrea also cheered at Maryland for 4 years, so we just talked about the changes that she saw after leaving the industry for 4 years and then coming back to coach. So she gave us some insight on that, which was pretty cool. And then we also just talked about the large all girl division this year and her overall thoughts. I'll stop rambling and let's get right into the video. All right, welcome back, everyone. We have our next guest, Andrea Lipkus.
Hi.
This was long awaited. I've had so many comments in my videos like, where's Andrea? I'm like, she's coming. You just
I'm
have to
so
be
excited.
patient. All right, we'll move right into our first question. How did you get into cheerleading and grow up to become a shooting star?
Yeah, so I got into cheerleading because both of my older sisters cheered. I was like 3 years old and we were at this smaller gym, Jersey Devils, like right down the road from my house. And I just hopped right into it. Kenny Wu was like my first like tumbling coach. I was running around. He wanted to like, he was like trying to get me to tumble. I was like just running everywhere. But when that gym started to like kind of go down, we went to World Cup with a lot of other people, like the Matrones and everyone. We all went to World Cup. So I tried it out and I made Milky Ways. That was so much fun. I was so small and it's so crazy to look back on it. But and then I met Gianna at a tumbling class. I was just on the rod floor and she was like, oh, hey. And I'm like, hi. And she's like, want to be friends? I'm like, yes, let's be friends. She's my first friend at World Cup. Ever since then, we've just been best friends. But after Milky Ways, I was on that for a year. Then I went to Dippers for a year. That was also the best, probably one of my best younger years, I would say. Like between Milky Ways and Dippers, Dippers was like one that like I remember very vividly. And then I went to Twinkles. I was on Twinkles for 2 years. My second year was actually co-ed, and then I went to Starlights for 2 years, and then my second year on Starlights we were co-ed. So they just always came with me. My second
They
year,
were following.
even my first year was co-ed because Eddie joined kind of like towards NCA
Yeah.
because we were like, we need you, yes. And then I got invited to Shooting Stars after my second year on Starlight. So that was in 2015 after you guys won. I was so excited. I was like, I'm in a fever dream right now. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Me and Gianna got invited together. So then I was on Shooting Stars for 4 years.
Long
No, was
time.
it five? Oh my God, what was it?
16, 17, 18, 19, 5 years.
5 years. Oh my God, I got it wrong. That's so bad. 5 years I was on Shooting Stars. Obviously, my senior year got cut short because of COVID, but the 4.5 years were great.
Your first year on Twinkles was my last year on Twinkles. So
Yeah.
seeing you come up to stars in 2016, I was like, oh my God, Gianna and Andrea can be shooting stars. Like that was just like so crazy to me. And seeing you
I
guys
know.
grow up, because I was always like 2 years ahead of you. It was just so nice to just see you guys like grow into beautiful athletes and then just join me on stars for 2 years, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
And we were also so lucky because like we had you on Twinkle, so we just like were automatically looking up to you like all the way through. So like it was just like awesome to kind of just like reunite on Stars and have those 2 years together.
For those of you who don't know, there's a documentary called Twinkles Chasing Perfection. And Miss Andrea Lipkus, would you say like you and Gianna were like the duo
Yeah.
in that
We were definitely a
documentary?
duo.
Now Andrea is coaching Twinkle, so it's a full circle moment. So first you can just talk about what it's like, coming back to Twinkles and
Yeah.
your experiences when you were an athlete on Twinkles.
As being a Twinkle beforehand has kind of like helped me be able to coach them. They're doing harder skills than like I couldn't even fathom doing at like 9 years old. Like they are doing inversions and full switch ups. Oh, it's crazy. Crazy how much cheers like evolved.
Mhm.
Um, but I love coaching the Twinkles. I think that they're just amazing athletes. I mean, they're so passionate, and it's cool to see. Like, we were so passionate on the team, and it's kind of just like they all love being a Twinkle, and they all like want to win. They want to go out there and hit a routine of a lifetime. Like, and to me, that's like so special because a lot of the time, like, not a lot of the time, but sometimes you have to like kind of like push an athlete to get there, but they want it so bad. And you could see that whenever like they get on the floor or like, for example, like if they have like a mistake in the routine, like they're like upset about it. And I think that's a good thing because you know that they want to do better and they will do better the next time. So they definitely have a lot of fight in them. And we are doing really good this season, I think. So we're obviously, like Twinkles, we don't have a lot of competition until we get to the big competition. So our first competition that we're going against Youth Elite will be cheer sport. I think they're really excited too because they're like, all right, like we want to go against someone. Like they're ready.
I'm so excited. And now I have to watch you guys. Like I've seen the routine and heard the music's very cute too. So I'm definitely gonna watch you guys at Cheersport. What you mentioned about like the age being so giddy, Twinkles, it's always said at the gym that they are the future of shooting stars. I think I even made a post about that with,
Yeah.
like, Twinkles. I was like, this is the future of the gym. So as
Yeah.
a Twinkle at such a young age, you're constantly being told like you are going to be the shooting stars. Every competition you're like, well, I have to show that like this is the future of World Cup and we have to look good, we have to do like these skills perfectly. And in reality, yes, that's true, but they are also so young and they're doing such hard skills.
Like they're hitting these.
Yes.
I'm like, wow, I am so impressed by them every day.
Yeah, those are incredible athletes that you have, and you're an incredible coach because you have that experience of being on that team. You're a great leader from what I've seen on your Instagram and and
Yeah.
how, all the girls support you. So, have the Twinkles seen the documentary?
Actually, yes. So as one of their team bondings, they had like a watch party and they had like a movie night and they like
Cute.
watched. It was cute.
What did they think?
Um, well, a lot of them have seen it before that, but they definitely liked it. I mean, they saw what kind of went down. Yeah, I think that definitely kind of helped them gain more of like a perspective of like what's expected from them in a way.
Leading up, we can just talk about like your experience maybe being filmed. Have you seen the documentary in a while? Just your overall thoughts about the documentary. And then we're going to do a different segment that I haven't done with anyone else where we're going to just watch clips together.
I have seen it recently, not the whole thing, but clips on TikTok because
Mhm.
everyone just tags me in it.
Yep.
Um, so I think it's actually kind of cool that it keeps kind of coming up, like
Mhm.
for like other generations to see. Don't really remember like a lot of like being filmed. They were like a lot of the time they were like really in the background when they were in the car with me. Like I really don't even remember her sitting next to me. Yeah, I definitely remember them coming to my school, and I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. Because like all of my friends at school, like they didn't understand cheerleading at the time. Like they thought it was like rah rah, whatever. Um, but I think that this kind of helped my friends almost realize like what I do is like actually like I don't know, really hard and like they're doing a whole documentary on it. Like
Yeah.
the one thing I thought that was like really strange was when I had to like the part of the where I had to pick my backpack up onto the bus. I had to do it like 5 times. I was holding the bus up. I was like, oh God. I was like, oh no.
Get the shot, please.
I know. Then the worst part is I didn't even take the bus home. My mom came and picked me up that day. Like
Oh, because she probably had to take the film crew back
exactly.
home.
But filming otherwise, I feel like it did kind of put a pressure on me. Once the camera comes out, you're like, I gotta do it good. I gotta like do this, blah blah. I think it definitely was a lot of pressure for everyone because we were so young and we're like, oh my God, they're making this documentary about us. Like it needs to like we need to be great. Like we need to do everything perfect. And like at the end of the day, nothing's gonna be perfect in a routine. Gotta work with what you got. So, I definitely think that put an added pressure on us, but I did think it was fun. Like it was cool. Like we were like
Yeah.
9 to 12 years old, like getting filmed. Like
It's like I just recall them saying like you're going to be filmed this year, and then when it started happening, I was like, oh, this is different from my other years on Twinkles, like 2 years
yeah,
before, because Twinkles always had a name to them within the industry, especially like my first 2 years, because we were able to do doubles and different passes. And then we went restricted, and in my mind, I was like, oh, that kind of stinks. Like it won't have this Youth Five won't have the same like aura to it. But then with that documentary coming out and like the way that we were able to come out with that routine. I don't know. It was a really fun year for me, and I didn't
Oh,
expect that. And it made Twinkles bigger too.
mhm.
How was that on the following year? A bigger
It
crowd.
was a big crowd for
Okay.
sure because I forget when it came out, but I feel like even when we were during filming, people would come up to us and be like, "Oh my God." But then after, it was just like everyone, like we were like signing shirts, signing shoes, like it was crazy. So my overall view of like the documentary, I think that it really just grasped exactly what every all-star cheerleader goes through. And I feel like a lot of people didn't know that before the documentary. So it kind of was just like an eye-opener for not only other cheerleaders, but also like people who have no idea what cheerleading is. Uh, so I think that was cool. And I definitely think that what we all kind of went through that year was just we grew so much as people. And like you can't really say that a lot as like a 9-year old, 12-year old, like, oh, I grew up so much this year. Like I grew as a person, I know who I want to be, like kind of thing. So like I think that's awesome. And we all got to go through that. And I feel like it also just shaped us into like one, better people and better athletes at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it showed what it's like to grow up at World Cup genuinely. Like I think if there's like something to show someone, it's like what is the experience at World Cup?
Yeah.
It's being on the Twinkles. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. Oh my God. I was
So
just
little.
okay, pulling Scorpion in the car.
First year on Twinkles.
At least you know I'm from Jersey. I'm just fist bumping in the back seat.
Yeah, you got the fist bump.
Meaning is obvious.
Oh my God.
It's obvious I want to be a singer, clearly.
I think you could make
With
it.
her mother and two
Me
older
too.
sisters cheering before her, it's hard to imagine Andrea doing anything else.
My God. You are so
Almost all
teeny.
girls on this nationally
So
acclaimed
tiny.
and
Oh, there's
So
Missy.
like, what is that backpack? What is that backpack and why is it mine? It's so bad.
Probably got it from a competition.
I decided I wanted to do cheerleading because when I watch
My hair was
myself
brown.
do like the
Yes.
stuff, it made me want to learn more about it and actually do it.
she had no choice. I mean, she was
Oh,
just
that fall was
Oh,
scary.
just a natural place to go. I mean, she cheers and
Oh my
she's
God, my mom doesn't even look like herself anymore. She looks so different now.
okay, baby.
Oh, it's so good.
I love the Miss America clip. It's good.
Well,
Okay, we can pause
so
it.
funny because it's so funny because people are like, well, is she going to run for Miss America? Because I would vote for her.
I would vote for you too. You could be Miss America. You have like the little pool one too. It's such a cute, like perfect way to open up a documentary. Just
Yes.
when you going to cheer practice like a normal 9-year-old girl. It's
Yep.
very
So
cute.
happy, so excited to get there. Yeah, I think it shows kind of one, how young we were. You know, I am just loving every second of my life.
Yep.
Definitely shows both sides, kind of like me being just a regular little girl and then showing up to the place where I was meant to be.
Okay, so for this clip, it's Andrea's first time with Twinkles for kickoff. Did I say that? Oh, I did. Okay. Oh, the toe touches in the back.
In the end, the stunt groups that struggled the most hit all their stunts. But two of the groups that no one worried about, well,
Oh, who was that? Bridget and Gianna? Oh, Chrissy.
Yeah.
The ones we were worried about hit perfect. The ones we didn't worry about had a little nerves issue, but that's first time out, so absolutely no second thought.
it was a big night for Andrea. It proved
Kickoff's
she
so
could
different
when it counts.
now than back then.
Yeah, it is very different.
Andrea is a fighter, and Andrea has,
You're a fighter.
for lack of better words, and in the best sense,
Oh, so cute. There's you and your dad.
doesn't let things
Yeah.
go with her. Bridget was nervous back there in
Oh my
warm-up.
God, he has a
I saw that she was
mustache.
waiting in that corner with her face on like this, like she saw a ghost. And I said, "Come on, Bridget, you're great. I love you. You're awesome." But Bridget's a nervous kid.
You were able to deliver the TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
narrator. I was able to deliver it.
Yeah.
I think that was awesome. I mean, it was my first time out as a Twinkle, and I successfully did the TikTok.
Yes, you did.
And And it was cool. Like I had my whole family there, and my dad was there, and he doesn't get to come to a lot because he works a lot. So having him there was great. And I know my mom was so excited. She's like, "Oh my God, Andrea, you hit the thing!"
Yay! Although we had those two falls, I think that's still kickoff. I think people forget it's kickoff. It's so early.
November. We probably got a routine in like August.
Exactly. And you probably went full out a handful of times. I say it was a good showing for Twinkles.
100% it was a good showing.
Lauren's like the kind of kid that's good at everything she does. Like she's the star of her play, the star singer in the band.
I was never in a play.
But she's also a perfectionist.
You're the star singer.
I can't sing.
During a local competition in Asbury Park, Lauren and a girl who was new to the team.
The best
had a
part is
vision
when they
of
slow it
the
down and zoom right up.
And
Yes.
I saw it because they're like, "Did you see it?" No. I'm like, "Yes, I did."
In fact, most of the people watching did it. But with a couple other errors, the performance.
Yeah,
was
this
one of the
really,
best
as a
and worst of the
child
season.
watching this, is like, why would they
Lauren
zoom
was
up?
virtually inconsolable as she came off the floor.
Lauren, are you crying because you're hurt? Okay, then get over it. Not acceptable from a seventh.
Joelle, why
I
are you
don't care if
crying?
it's perfectionist or not. Get over it. You know, and Chrissy's like, "Come on with the tears." I'm like, Chris, they cry. Kids cry. They're
Kids
sad,
cry.
they cry.
It's true.
They trip,
Very
they
true.
in the-
Bridget was a real one. She hung out with me after that experience. She was like rubbing my back. She's like, "It's okay. Chrissy does this, you know that." Yeah, that is a core memory of mine. And yeah, I just remember that moment. Like, why I think it was so traumatizing for my 12-year-old self is because I never had an issue in that section. And I think that
Yeah.
was Alexis Adam. I forget her last name.
Adamo.
Adamo. I probably took too many steps as I was stepping for the 2 to 4, whatever the hell it was. You know, something happened, and I think in the routine it threw me off because as any cheerleader knows, when you're competing, things are supposed to go the way they are, and if they don't, it's kind of like, oh my God.
And it's scary. Like you just collided with someone.
Yeah, it
Like,
freaks you out. As an athlete, you just have to forget about it
move
as you're
on.
competing because you have to hit the rest of the routine and not make any more mistakes, so you throw it out. And I think what happened to me as I was after the routine finished, I was like, oh my God. And it all
Yeah,
hit me at
it's
once.
happened. Yeah.
Then I had to like face what just happened and Chrissy. So I think that's why I was crying and there was so much emotion tailored to that. Like, yes, I was a perfectionist back then and whatever they were labeling me as. Like I do take pride in my skills and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yes. But that's because you have a passion for the sport and like you don't want to make a mistake. No one does.
Exactly. So I think that's why I was so emotional. Like it first, like you said, it was a collision. It scared me. And then so I don't want to let anyone down, especially Chrissy or my teammates. So that was that reaction from me as a seventh grader.
You know, seventh grade as if that's like old.
I like have it paused on Joelle. It's a funny face. We're gonna react to NCA Twinkles 2012 Day 1.
Okay.
And we'll keep it a surprise of what happens, I guess, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about. But all right.
Remember when we talked about sections falling down to the ground?
Yeah, you fell down to the. Did that hurt, or was there just too much adrenaline?
Too much adrenaline. Didn't feel a thing. Oh, the slow-mo.
Yep. Why did they do that? Slow mo and zoom up on the. It's not no.
Oh.
Your fault.
Yeah, that's not our best routine.
She also balks. Doesn't even make it to the other side of the floor.
What did Carly do?
Things don't get better from here. The timing's just off. Stunts that are still really impressive fall flat. In her new part in the pyramid, Andrea falls short, then stumbles
You hit
and
me in the
falls.
head.
It's the last straw.
Come on, Andrea! Come on, Andrea, get your together! She's terrible!
I
Can't
trip
always
right
see
to the
it,
back.
but Andrea's usually really animated during a performance. By this point, though, she's crying.
Look at her! She could cry on another team!
As one would be after, you know.
The most traumatic.
Yeah.
Look at her!
Oh god. Here
Here she
goes.
comes. Here comes Chrissy.
Andrea! Andrea, get over here! You want to cry? I'll let you cry. You don't cry during a
So
routine. We saw
little.
you better than that. Let's go! Go watch
Okay,
the video!
I'm
No
gonna
good
pause
at
it.
all.
Just that whole sequence is the Legacy girls standing there like to say like good job, and Chrissy is just like screaming at you. Just,
And
like,
they're like,
based on where I was on the mat and because I turned, I didn't know who actually fell. Like you know,
mhm.
fall it goes down, but I didn't know it was you who fell. So when we were getting off the floor, I hear like Chrissy screaming. I'm like, what is going on? Like, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, it was just a stunt fall or whatever was
Yeah.
happening. So when we got off the mat, I was like, what the hell? Who was she yelling? And I saw it was you. And I was like, why? What is going on? And I watched the video. I'm like, oh, poor Andrea.
I wanted it so bad to go out there and do so well. So I think I was just like in shock. And then like once I got to the pyramid and I tripped, I was like, oh my God. I just got like so upset. And I was like, ugh, I wanted to do so much better. And like as like a kid who has so much passion for something at such like a young age, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. And like I just let my entire team down. I let my coaches down. I let my parents down. Like all of this stuff is just like running through my head as I'm standing in the back of the pyramid to go for the hitch. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then I get to the dance and I'm like overwhelmed. I'm just crying.
Yeah,
And
I
then
can't imagine.
when I got off the mat, I was like in those cries where like quite hyperventilating because I also just competed in like a routine and I was like out of breath and I was also crying. But it was definitely a little bit traumatic, kind of just like experiencing like falling like that. I was like, oh my God, I never want to do that ever again. Like that was like kind of like I will never do that again. Like I will never fall like that again, kind of thing. And like the yelling, I get it. I shouldn't cry on a mat. Like I should not be crying in a routine. That's crazy. I should cry after for sure, but not during it because there's still you guys still get a score and dance and performance. And like now I get that. It's like a coach. Like it was definitely a hard watch. Like I didn't love watching it back. I really avoided it for a while, I can't lie. But I do think that I grew a lot from that experience. And hey, the next day I was like, all right, let's do it again.
We talked about this off record, but I do think like yes, it is intense and like being older now and seeing like little Andrea, little Gianna like getting yelled at in that way, I'm like, oh my God, like that's it. I'm like that's a lot, but in my mind, I'm like that's how I became the athlete that I was, and
Like the real
because
world.
exactly,
No one's gonna be super nice to you and like no one's gonna applaud you for not doing your job. Like and I get that. And listen, I probably wouldn't be, I wouldn't have made it to Shooting Stars. I wouldn't have been a world champion. There's just so many things that wouldn't have happened if this didn't happen.
would not have survived Joelle
No.
if it wasn't for me. So, and we won 2 world championships
You
being
did.
coached by Chrissy. So there's something to her madness, but and she, literally, I think there's a couple of videos, but they show in the documentary how much Chrissy cares for us as athletes. Like,
I don't know, as like a coach perspective now, it's so important that a coach has so much passion for it. And that's all she had. Like she just wanted us to be the best because she loves what she's doing and she knows what we are capable of and what we did wasn't that.
it's definitely a video that will live on forever.
I
So.
will live
Will live on. Yeah.
on.
I will say from as an like my third year never won NCAA on Twinkles. Like this was very exciting for me. I was like, this is everything I could possibly dream of.
No, this was the
See how
best
that second place team is
outcome
getting shoved
possible
off the
for like this
stage?
whole season. It
That
was
was the Twinkles
amazing.
last year.
And I'll never forget
But
like
not today.
winning and
All
like
they
being
are
on that mat
thinking
with
right now
everyone.
is about getting
We
their
were all just
hands
like
on
literally
those
so happy
jackets.
together.
You
And
Like
know,
we
for
did
us,
it.
it's
Like, oh,
instant gratification. They go right
Well,
back
because yeah, last
to a
year
room
we were
called the
so close. We
Champions
missed
Room,
it. Senior,
and they
not
get
senior
their
elite.
jackets.
Youth elite beat us, and it was like devastating. I was like, this is the end.
It's right in front of you, and you just want to put it on. Because I knew my dad or mom would make fun of me.
And
by
this was
taking
the
the
real
jacket and
leather.
hiding it somewhere. So I slept with it.
So
Once those
good.
jackets are on and believe they don't
You
come
slept with
off,
your jacket.
I
the
did. I
movement
was
inside the
actually like
jackets
terrified of my
introduced
parents stealing
throngs
my
of parents
jacket.
lining a
I
little
didn't.
red
We can
carpet
pause it,
like
but
pop.
I did not remove that jacket like until I got home from Dallas. Like
That is so funny.
when it like with my PJs had it on, it came with me everywhere. I was
I
so excited.
love that. I literally still have mine. It's like in my basement, in my closet somewhere.
Of course, did you bling it?
I did.
I didn't bling it. I'm weird with superstitions. I was like, no, I cannot bling it. Why? I don't know. I already won, so there's
Now like the leather's just not the same anymore.
Kira and I were talking about that a little bit, how the awards are not the same as they used to be, just in general. Like the
Yeah.
quality has gone down. So we're gonna move on from the Twinkles and we're gonna move into our next question, which is you have been away from All-Star Cheer for 4 years now. So did you notice any changes in scoring, in routine compositions from when you were an athlete?
I definitely noticed differences in the score sheet. I think now it's super based off of execution when in the past it was we want to have the most difficult skills, perform them, hit them, and just like have all our bodies in the air. And now it's more like who's going to be the cleanest, who's going to be the sharpest, who's going to have the strongest execution in both tumbling and stunting. So I think that's a big change. I mean, obviously you want your routine to be clean. We wanted our routine to be clean, but at the end of the day, what they're doing now to like ensure that they get these execution points is a lot more than we had to do. Like we were like land and like clean to the front. That was like our thing. Now they like land with like in like a low V. And like I can show you. And then clean so they get like the full points for like their doubles and everything. So
Interesting.
that's how they're landing, they're tumbling to make it like more unison. Um, and then just stunt wise, what they're doing is insanely difficult. I mean, it's difficult and they want them to like execute it with perfection, no movement underneath, base is chest, like, and it's hard to do that. And listen, when it definitely started getting that way my senior year, it just started, you started seeing like all like these teams just building this like crazy, these crazy stunts. And I was like, oh my God, like that's insane. But like we were able to do it. So it's cool to see like how not only like you evolve with the sport as you grow through it, but also like how different it's become. It definitely is a lot different. Even just like athletes in general, they want to be the best and, they love to do the sport for sure, but they want to beat everyone.
Mhm.
And they're ready to do it. They are. So, I mean, I'm ready for shooting stars to come out at Cheersport and kill it.
Yay.
I'm so excited for them. They're gonna do great. So, but they're doing crazy stuff and executing it. Like it's their pyramid's insane.
Specifically Brandon Senior Black. I don't know if you remember this, but each year they would come up with a new skill. So like
Hmm.
double ups were a big thing, and then they came up with the double up from like a prep. And
Yeah.
that was wild. I was like, "Oh my God, they're doing double ups from a prep." And then double up from extension. I was like,
That was
they're
crazy.
insane. And I feel nowadays you don't see that a lot with cheerleading because people don't want to take that same risk and it doesn't hit
Yeah.
the same
So
rate, I assume.
I'm honestly not even seeing like any double ups from a sponge. I'm not sure if that's like not part of because now the score sheet's like um you have level appropriate skills and then you have like elite skills. So like you want more elite skills because that adds to your difficulty, but you need like a certain amount. I'm not even completely sure how. Like I'm still confused. Like um what makes an elite skill and what makes level appropriate? Like what is the difference? Like
I feel like it changes each year too
it
sometimes.
does. It definitely changes each year. I definitely like noticed that a lot of teams aren't doing just double ups anymore. It's not a thing anymore, which
Yeah.
is so sad. I always loved them.
Bring back double ups.
Double ups.
Even just like tumbling skills have not, I don't want to say gone down, they're still difficult, but just because you have to be so much cleaner, stick and clean or the
Yep.
new the new clean at World Cup, like you're not seeing those crazy skills or like passes that you once seen back in
No,
the
you're
day.
not because right now I feel like the score sheets like you want to hit all your difficulty. Oh my God, you're good.
He really likes the rain right now.
Um, the numbers that you have to hit for difficulty range, and that's what you're gonna put in the routine. Like you're not gonna put anything extra in it. Like that's kind of the trend that I'm starting to see now. Like we used to put in like a bunch of passes just for show, like just because they can do it. So let's showcase that they can do it. Like stuff like that. That's not really a thing anymore. Yeah,
No.
like they don't do switch kicks anymore.
Why? Why don't they do switch kicks? Kira and I
I don't
were
know. It's so sad. Those were so pretty.
thoughts about the large all-girl division this year, if you've seen the teams, and your thoughts.
I have seen like a few videos, I think. I did watch the whole major, so like I've seen everyone's routine. I think that they're all very difficult. I definitely see Worlds. I know it's so far away, but actually it's really not.
It comes up fast
It's coming
though.
fast. I see like everyone at Worlds doing really well. And it's anyone's game.
Mhm.
Anyone's game any day in the large all girl division. So, and it's always been like that, you know? I honestly would love to see like everyone hit. Like that would be
I,
cool.
when I was an athlete, I always wanted everyone to hit. For fun to be like, yeah, I won because these teams fell. And also it's kind of used against you online. It's like, well, if this team hit,
Then you wouldn't have won.
wouldn't have won. And I'm like,
They say
well,
that about our 2019 Worlds win all the time. They were like, well, if Senior League didn't have that bobble, then you wouldn't have won, blah, blah.
and that's the part of the sport. It's like, yes, they didn't hit the routine at Worlds Day 2 or whatever.
Mhm.
So, yes, they didn't win,
I
but
know that was a crazy Worlds Awards. I remember we were sitting in like our circle and the announcer had the sheet like just down.
what Bob was telling me.
Yeah, so we won already. I forget who said it, but I was like, "You're lying."
He's a menace
Wait,
today.
I love him.
He's gotten a lot of camera action. What are you doing? Yeah, but those comments are always funny.
I know, and the craziest thing, I think I posted like a video of like on TikTok of when Worlds got canceled of like me just like crying, and someone commented was like, "You guys weren't gonna win anyways." I was like, "Hold on, you have no idea what you're talking about because large old girl is anyone's game."
It
Um,
truly is. That's what's fun about being in the
I know.
division.
So then I was like, wait, I'm graduated. Like I can make a video responding to this. So I literally put on both my world's medals and my rings, and I was like, I made like a video.
I love that. As you
Thank-
should. Because who are they to ugh, don't even get me started with that. I thought this was really cute because I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but in 2017, we were tango partners and
Yay.
so cute because I just remember whenever we would hit each time we would go like so hard with the down or
Like
whatever.
back and then down.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And then after we had a handshake, I would turn to you and we would take each other's hand and shake it. Unfortunately, that didn't last when I had to tumble in front of the pyramid, but I just thought that was such a cute, just thought that was a cute moment we had. I remember
It was so much fun day two of Worlds because like I could see this way so I could see if Kira and Julia like hit it.
yeah,
And now
yeah. Oh, I was so excited. Well, after, because this is bad, but after you hit the second stunt in that routine, I'm like, oh, we got it after that.
yes, because our pyramid, we were like, we can do this in our sleep.
Yes, so easy. Even though I
Even
just,
like even when it was like bobbling, we would still like keep it up all the time. So
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
like, oh my God, we just hit.
hit at Worlds. It was so exciting. Yeah, I always love doing that with you.
That was my like I guess it was like technically my second time hitting at Worlds. Did we hit day one? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. So technically it was like my second time hitting at Worlds.
yeah. Oh my
It's
God.
2016 we didn't hit.
This might be unpopular, but I don't think we should have came in fourth.
I agree. I agree.
Like didn't
I
complete
don't
a
know why we shouldn't have came in fourth because it was like barely a fall.
yes,
And also, we would have won.
yes.
So how would we get in fourth place?
I don't know. I like still to this day because I watch it sometimes because I have to do like the little clips. And
Yeah,
it's not a bad routine. Like, it wasn't my favorite, no, but like I was watching it, I was like, this is not a fourth place routine. Okay.
I
I
know, but sometimes I get like jump scared because somehow it ended up on my Apple Music. I don't know how it's in my downloaded songs. Don't ask me, but like I usually just shuffle all my downloaded songs and sometimes it'll just come up. I'm like, I was like, oh my God, I didn't need this today.
17 was a great year, especially Worlds, because
Favorite stars ever.
so good. People are probably sick and tired of me talking about 2017, but like it
No, they're
was
not. No, they're not.
such a great year because we were
That
not
was
good, but
amazing.
we were so like good together as a group. When I
We
say
were.
we were good in the beginning of the year, and then like we just
Well,
rallied and just worked.
I forget where that local competition. It was like barely a competition, but we that was our like first time like hitting on it like a competition map.
Oh, were we wearing those pink outfits or whatever? Am I coming
Yeah.
up? Yeah.
Yes.
The
That was
practice.
our first time hitting. We're like, oh my God, we can do this. And then like we all were just like this. And we're like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it.
You mentioned that your senior year was your COVID year. So maybe you can speak a little bit about that experience. And then I also just, you got the wave passed down to you, which was very special. So maybe you can also talk about the shooting star wave.
Well, I'll start with the wave just because it's like before the whole year started, but it was awesome. I mean, getting passed down a tradition like that is huge, and you're like, okay, I worked so hard all these years, and like, now I'm gonna be the new like legacy wave girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited. I remember like before kickoff, I was like practicing my room, making sure like I don't like mess it up. Um, but walking out on like the kickoff floor for like the first time, like doing it was just like so special to me because I watched so many other shooting stars that I looked up to do it, and now I was that person. So I think it was just like a beautiful way to kind of like start my senior year and just, that. But COVID year. I have to say, I really did love my team. It was a lot of new girls, so it was kind of like I got to instill all of like the traditions and legacy of being a shooting star in them. So I like Kennedy, she was my flyer. And she was like a little baby. Oh my God, it's so weird like seeing her like grown up. I'm
I
like,
know.
oh,
He's a freshman.
I know. I'm like,
College.
up growing up, I remember you like small with like braces, just pulling your needle every 5 seconds. I'm like, I miss you so much. But I do think that like that year was special. I think that I loved our theme. I thought it was so cute. And we didn't get to compete like our new like upgraded routine, I guess. So like we upgraded it before UCA and then like UCA was turning into like a 1 day competition and like Miss P just didn't want to send us because it was just dangerous for everyone. So we didn't end up going, but that routine was gonna be so good. Like I have such like I like literally am sad about it because I'm like no one got to
Oh,
see it.
what was upgraded?
The second stunt, how like we did like the straddle up, we
Mhm.
took that out because no one was hitting at the top and it wasn't like clean at all. It was like not cute. So we changed it into like uh I guess like quarter turn inversion high to high and it was just so much cleaner and I just had like a great feeling about like the rest of the year. It was just great vibes. And then COVID happened, and it was sad. But I was thinking about coming back. But then I was like, you know what? Let me end on this note.
Yeah.
Like, let me not come back. Let me move on. I had my years. And I'm happy I did. I mean, obviously, I love shooting stars, and then if they asked me to be on it today, I would be on it for them. But I can't. I'm too old. We probably would have been a really successful team, and I think at Worlds, who knows?
Yeah.
Because I it happened, but I definitely think we were definitely in the running for it.
I
And
was
never
the yoga taxi. Was that one?
yes,
Yes, that was a good one. Yeah, that was a hard year. especially your last year on Stars, like that's the most impactful year that everyone says. But
Yeah.
glad you got
And
a
like,
couple
it's
of,
just like you never get the closure,
yeah.
like competing at Worlds the last time, but I obviously had my own closure. I cut my hair
Tired
off.
with the ring, you know?
I did. And I cut my hair off.
And you cut your hair off. So, last question that I ask all of my guests is your favorite all-star routine of all time and your favorite shooting star routine of all time.
Obviously, I'm going with majority, I think, that have been on here, but the Shooting Stars 2017, my favorite year.
Mhm.
I just think the theme and just everything was so cute. Um, and then my favorite All-Star routine of all time, any TGLC routine. 2018 was good. I don't even know. But any routine that they ever did was great. So
No.
because they're all just so talented. And it's just like so many like even though it's like the same amount as like a large all-girl team on the floor, it just looks like there's so many more of them.
It's the uniforms. I'm so convinced. All right. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's so much fun catching up.
I did too. It was so fun.
All right, guys, so that's all I have for you today. She's truly the best. I love Andrea. Like I said before, I had so much fun catching up with her, and I wish her teams the best of luck this season. Right now, cheer sport's going on, or it's just finished, so I'm sure all of her teams crushed it. Please subscribe to all of Andrea's social media platforms, which are down below. I'm so sorry. I have a little bit of a cold right now, so that's why I sound a little off. And that's all I have. I will see you guys so soon. Love you lots. Kiss, kiss.